When I was young, I was a crier. I cried easily, often, and loudly. I cried when I fell and skinned my knee. I cried when someone pulled my hair. I cried when I lost the race at sports day, and I cried when I forgot my lines at the school play, hence the iPad. And I cried like everything was a tragedy. So my family lovingly and a little teasingly gave me the nickname, the Tragedy Queen. And that name fit me well until I was about 10 or 11 years old. And that was when I discovered a tool that could help me to find balance when those big emotions came to the surface. When I felt those tears welling up, I would run up to my room and I would crawl into my bed under my covers and I would get out a book, and there I would read words written long ago that gave me solace. There I would let out my tears to a silent and steady listener, and I would feel heard. And slowly, I would start to feel more balanced and ready to face the day again. I would feel restored. That book was the book of Psalms. That book, easy to find when you open the Bible. It's in the middle, easy to find when you crack it open. The Psalms, that collection of ancient prayers, poetic prayers, often set to music, expressing a wide range of human emotions and experiences, from anxiety and fear and anger and sorrow to gratefulness and wonder and joy and hope. The Psalms, written thousands of years ago in the ancient Near East, some attributed to King David, but many written by anonymous voices whose words have rippled through the millennia across time and space and culture and still resonate with us today. The Psalms, honest and raw, heartfelt and deep, they express things that I didn't know how to say myself. Why are you cast down, O my soul? Why are you disquieted within? Save me, for the waters are coming up to my neck. I sink in deep mire, and I have no foothold. I lift up my eyes to the hills. Where does my help come from? The Psalms became a friend and companion to me as I journeyed through my formative years, through my teenage angst and my young adult questions. Over and over, the Psalms continued to be there for me as kindred spirits, thousands of years old. Fast forward to when I was in my early 30s. I was in Belfast. I was a minister and a young mother. And I had preached on a psalm of longing that morning, Psalm 63, which is, like a dry land, my soul thirsts. I was on the couch later that night feeling exhausted, wiped out, and I was listening to a 400-year-old harp melody that expressed that same longing. And in a glimmer of inspiration, I decided to try to put the psalm and the music together. And what I found was that the psalm came to life in a whole new way. Through the music, the words reached my heart more deeply, and the longing became more poignant, and the weariness and exhaustion that I had been feeling just began to melt away. I felt my energy returning, I felt stimulated, I felt inspired. It was like the lights had gone back on inside of me. The combination of the ancient words of the Psalms and that beautiful Irish air had helped me to bring myself back into balance, feel like myself again, restored, ready to face the challenges of that day. That began a decade-long journey of setting the ancient words of the Psalms to the beautiful, emotionally expressive, traditional music of these islands. I invited the McGraths from Dungannon, County Tyrone, to lend their beautiful voices and harmonies to this Celtic Psalms project. And along with the brilliant traditional musician and producer Donal O'Connor, we recorded 4 albums of 44 psalms to date. And over time, we began to hear back from people about their response to the songs, and we started to hear some similar stories from people. Many attested that when you listen to these songs in your car, it's a sure way to calm road rage. You should try it. Others shared that when you wake up in the middle of the night with a panic or with insomnia, or if you're trying to get the kids to bed, just putting on this music was a sure way to fall straight to sleep. And some experienced an emotional catharsis. They would cry buckets of tears listening to the songs and then feel strangely better. And a great privilege to us was to hear that these songs were often played at the deathbed of a loved one in their last moments, accompanying that person as they're surrounded by family and friends in their last moments as they're going through that passage from life to death. So when those stories reached us, we were touched. And I remember thinking, that's what the Psalms are there for. They're there to meet us in the wide range of human experiences. Those frantic moments when we're stressed and anxious and overwhelmed, the quiet moments when we're alone with our thoughts in the middle of the night, the watershed moments when those tears just need to flow, and the threshold moments when we're walking through the valley of the shadow of death. The words of the Psalms, combined with the cadences of the traditional melodies, seem to be offering others a way to find balance in difficult moments, to restore their spirits, and to help them face the challenges of that day. So I knew firsthand from personal experience as a child, and then through the experience of hearing back from all these listeners, that the Psalms help people through difficult times. But I wanted to understand what it was about them that made them helpful. So when COVID hit, and we were all trying to find tools for how to get through, I started a podcast in which I invited friends and respected teachers to explore with me how the Psalms lift our spirits, how they lead us into healing and hope. And through these conversations, I noticed 4 elements that continued to come up that make the Psalms such a powerful resource. Poetry, the lyrical language that moves and inspires. Music, that allows the words to reach us more deeply and to touch our hearts. Spirituality, connecting us with something or someone beyond ourselves to offer meaning, purpose, and hope beyond the troubles of this world. And along with that, what I heard over and over again was honesty. It was the most honest Psalms, the most heartfelt and raw and authentically in touch with the most difficult and deep experiences of what it means to be human. They were the Psalms that had the most potential for healing. They were the ones that could help us find balance, to lift and restore our spirits. Because they reminded us that we're not alone. They remind us that others have been there before. They remind us that somehow we might be heard. This simple acknowledgement of how we are and how we feel, that we don't need to pretend, that we can be fully ourselves. This can be the beginning of healing and hope. We all need tools to help us handle what life brings our way. I've been talking about the Psalms because, as you now know, I've been obsessed with them since I was about 10 or 11 years old, which is the age of my youngest child now. But we can broaden it out to those 4 elements that can be found in other forms and other traditions: poetry, music, spirituality, and honest emotional expression. So whether it's the Psalms or something like the Psalms, this is a tool that's been used for thousands of years by people across time, space, and culture And it's a resource for us today that can help us find balance when things are tough, that can let us know that we're not alone, that can remind us of beauty amid the brokenness, that can soothe and heal and restore us when we need it the most, so that we can face the challenges that this day might bring. I'd like to invite a few members of my band here to join me to sing a few of these songs. We're going to share a few of these settings. We're going to need the stand-up mics. Yes, thank you. We'll grab a guitar and the mic stands. So we're going to share 3 songs that express this wide range of emotional experience of what it means to be human through the beautiful cadences of the traditional music of these islands. So I have here with me Declan and Chloe McGrath, and we have Sam Cuddy on keyboard and Cassie Campbell on harp. The first song is The Lord's My Shepherd, which is set to, so it's Psalm 23 set to The Parting Glass, a well-known Irish tune. The second is Wings of a Dove, Psalm 55, set to the moving melody Ned of the Hill. And then third, we'll do I Love the Lord, Psalm 116, set to the uplifting melody, the Galway Shawl.
The Lord's my shepherd, I'll not want. He lets me rest in pastures green. He leadeth me by waters still. He restores my soul, restores my soul. Even though I walk through the darkest vale, I'll fear no evil, for you're with me. Your rod and staff protect and guide. You comfort me, you comfort me. You prepare a table, a feast for me, in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with holy oil. My cup overflows, it overflows. Surely goodness and God's mercy great shall follow me all my days of life, and I'll dwell within the house of God my whole life long. wicked will fade, but you'll not be forsaken. You'll rest in the shelter from the tempest and storm. Oh, that I had the wings of a dove, I would fly far away to the home that I love. I would fly to the place where my heart is at rest, in the shelter far from the tempest and storm. In the shelter far from the tempest and storm.
And just while he's tuning, this song is about somebody who's been through a difficult experience and has come through it, has experienced that redemption and that restoration.
I love the Lord who showed me mercy, who heard my voice and heard my cry. Long as I live, I will call upon you, because you've listened and saved my life. When the chains of death had tangled round me, when grief and suffering had weighed me down, distress and sorrow had overcome me, I called my God to save my life. You have delivered me from death's doorway, my eyes from tears and my heart from pain. You guide my footsteps, my feet from stumbling. I walk beside you long as I live. I love the Lord who showed me mercy, who heard my voice and heard my cry. Long as I live, I will call upon you, because you've listened and saved my life. Because you've listened and saved my life.
Thank you.